All right. Brilliant. Beautiful Black women. We are back for part two of our Unfuckable with masterclass session on um, the author of Justice Deadly. Um, and this book is about serial killers who are female in the United States. So there's a couple of other things that I want to touch base on. Now, in the first video, the one right before this one, girl, go back and watch that one so you get the gist of what's going on. But let us continue because I need to point out some other things to us, okay? Um, and we're gonna connect the dots, girl. You know how I love to connect the dots, right? Yep. We're gonna connect the dots. Let's get it. Let's continue my written review. So again, the obvious question is, why would this author attempt to mislead her readers? The author is supposedly a psychology researcher of some apparent renown. So, why does any of the above matter? Well, let's connect the dots, like I said, girl. Okay, maybe it was a slip of the pen on the author's part. I don't think so, though. I'm gonna call bullshit on that. Bullshit. I contend that this author, as many others in this and other fields of so called study, our educational system and its patriarchy that is run by white supremacists, right? Um, I feel like it's just she's providing an age old opportunity to excuse the bad behaviors induced not by some sort of anomalous aberration in white women that, oh, we never see because they're just so good and gentile and so pure. Ah, and oh, the epitome of womanhood everywhere. Okay, that wasn't in there. You know me, I got to ad lib my own shit. Okay, so um, I I I I don't think that it's a rare thing. In fact, I know it's not. All I gotta do is look at their behavior and the patterns of their behavior over now, um, just in these United States, fucking 405 years. Okay. You and I, as Black women and our Black girls, we have, and Indigenous women, Indigenous girls, our LGBTQ Black community, and our children who are um, mixed Black heritage and ethnicity experience the reality of these um, these crossroad demons every single day. Okay. And what I'm trying to get to is I want us to stop um, fearing and just believing what people tell us and can try to condition us to believe. I need us to start listening to people's behaviors and looking at a pattern, because I'm going to give you a little tip here. I've said this before. The first time somebody does something, okay, we'll call that an incident. The second time somebody does something, okay, maybe that's a coincidence. But the third time they do it, that's a behavioral pattern. So, getting back to my review of this. Okay, I don't believe that they are some sort of serial killers who are white women. I don't believe that that's some sort of anomalous aberration. Um, when they're committing acts of torture and murder of the most vulnerable in society, including their own children, um, to fill an empty hole where their souls ought to be, and thus empathy should reside. But it's rather to ensure that we all continue to believe that people, especially white women, are essentially good. And that leaves us open and vulnerable without any type of options to defend ourselves from these heinous acts against ourselves and our children. Okay? If we assume that the author is correct about that Patty Cannon was indeed the most vile and heinous female serial killer in the United States whose evil knew no bounds, Patty was reported now to have murdered men, women, of children who were both of um, white ethnicity and who were also black, mixed black, right? But of course, it was far more of us, right? And that she and her gang that she had it captured and sold 300, at least 3,000, sorry, free black people into chattel enslavement from northern areas of the US. The papers at the time was like, "Oh my God, she's taking free black people and enslaving them, and the reason she wasn't caught till she was 70 years old is because, girl, it's because all of y'all were doing it. It wasn't anything unusual for you to to torture, kidnap, torture, um, enslave, and let me think, mutilate and murder us. It was nothing to you. You thought you had the right to, and you still are doing the same shit, but you continue to just change the name of it. So the black enslaved men, women, children who were free uh, prior to being kidnapped from their homes, their families, their children, and worked to death, and all of the different many things that they did to our bodies as human beings. With for what? For what? The fact is that these United States white females who were enslavers were also thus serial killers, kidnappers, and murderesses already. Listen, these people, Jeffrey Dahmer, this that girl, she was actually in London, but still, that Lucy Ledbetter, this woman Patty Cannon, they were only caught. And the reason Patty ended up getting caught was because she did shit to white people. It wasn't what she did to black people. It wasn't. Had nothing to do with that. And y'all all know it. So for this author to sit here and literally lie and try to convince us that Patty Cannon was a black woman and most heinous da 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 da. Well, what is that? She wasn't a black woman. Look at her. And what does that make the rest of you as enslavers? And every single moment of y'all day is spent trying to prove and tell people that you're not the monsters that we know you to be. Let me tell you something. This district judge Thomas Clee said this to Rita Mays. He said, "You're the monster no one sees coming." Come on, black women. We need to be able to call a thing so that we can defend ourselves. and our children.